video are similar to what he would write on the desk and the walls. It is very sinister. We didn't really see the side of him when I lived with him, but I'm not surprised. John and another former roommate, Andy, had much more to tell us on camera about living with a man who'd become a mass murderer. John and Andy sat down with CNN's Gary Tuchman last night for an exclusive and extraordinary interview.
I walked back to my room one night, and there's a policeman in there. And apparently what had happened was he started talking to her online first. He found where she lived, started talking to her on AIM. Then he went over there, it was using the name question mark. Said, hey, I'm question mark, and that really freaked the girl out.
So he was stalking?
Yeah. He found out everything about her first.
And like he told this girl all the things he learned about her?
I don't know if he told her that, but he thought they were playing some kind of game or something.
And did you know the girl?
No.
Was she freaked out about it? Did you hear later?
Freaked out enough about it to call the police.
And did this happen with any other girls, Andy?
There were two other instances that we know of. One was one of our friends, he started bothering her, and another was down the hall.
And what happened in those cases?
The one down the hall, I got the girl screaming and kind of told her, I IM'd her and told her, this guy, you know, he's messing around with you, here's his name, and you shouldn't kind of ignore him and just stay away from him. And then the other time, the cops responded again, and son became upset about that, and he had told me that he might as well kill himself. And so I told the cops that, and they took him away to the counseling center for a night or two.
And when he told you that he might kill himself, did you think he might be serious?
It was more out of, I could kind of see him doing it. It was before a break, is what I remember, so, and he never went home, so he would have been there over break by himself if he was serious about it.
How many different girls do you know that he stalked?
I think
3. And you were telling me about one of the girls whose door he went to and he talked to her. Tell me about that, what he said.
You need more about that?
He said that he walked in, and what he told me one night, which was really strange because he never talked to me, he never got up and closed the door himself, and he never turned off the lights when he was going to bed. So it was really strange when he closed the door and he turned to me and he said, hey, you want to know why I went up to that girl's dorm room the other night? And I said, sure, why? He said that he wanted to go up there and look her in the eyes to see how cool she was, because that's the only way you could tell how cool she was, by looking her in the eyes. And when he looked in her eyes, he saw promiscuity.
What is, Andy, the strangest thing you remember him doing now that you look back at it? Is there anything that you told other friends about or told your parents about?
I'm trying to think of the craziest incident with him. I guess it was his Facebook profile. He had called it question mark, and he told me that was his brother. And he had gotten my cell phone number from when we used to invite him to dinner and stuff, so he called me on a couple instances talking and saying he was question mark. And I remember one night I finally just got completely tired of it, and I'm like, son, acts up, you know, you need to stop this. And he's like, this isn't son, this is question mark, being real, and so insisting on that. So I knew he had me in Cochrane. I went through all the lounges in Cochrane. Not that many, but I finally found him on the, I think it was the...
Cochrane, you took the residence home?
Yeah. I found him on the 3rd floor in one of the study lounges, and the lights were off, and the moment I walked in, he hung the phone up and acted like everything was normal and denied that he had been on the phone with me.
Well, police reporters, of course, right now trying to really put the pieces of this puzzle together. Your interview yesterday, that was significant. We learned a lot of information on that. It corresponds to some of the things we heard in the videotapes today that were sent by Cho.
Right. In the videotape today, Cho condemns, quote, hedonistic needs. So when you just heard the young men talking about the looking in the eyes and seeing promiscuity, and he was very turned off by that, that has some correlation. So other things yesterday with Anderson was just so weird and disturbing when we heard them. For example, Andy told us Andy was a suite mate. He wasn't in the same room. He was in the room right next to him. Andy said when he went in his room and he looked, he saw a flash bulb. He goes, what is that? It turns out that Cho was taking a picture of him. He said, what are you doing that for? And he didn't answer. It's very strange. But I will tell you one thing, that John and Andy did everything right to be heroes. And and they should be heroes right now. They were the ones that told this university that he wanted to kill himself. Cho sent them an instant message in IM that said, I want to kill myself. He called the university. That's what got Cho for counseling in the first place. Because they didn't call him, he never even would have been taken away at all. As we see, he ended up coming back.
Because the women didn't press charges, the police talked to him, but that was it. But until they actually contacted him and said, look, he's thinking about killing himself, that's when they brought him in.
There was potential because of what these guys did that Cho could have never come back here.
It was a great interview, Gary. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And of course, we know how the story ended. All day today, more names of the victims became public along with their stories. Brian Bloom loved the Detroit Tigers. We're told he was at a game just last weekend. The Tigers won. Brian was 25 years old. Austin Cloud was just 18, a freshman. She and her mother helped rehab homes for the disadvantaged. Henry Lee had 9 brothers and sisters. He was the second youngest. His family came to this country from Vietnam, settling in Roanoke in 1994. Henry Lee was just 20 years old. So sad. So young lives. Up next, why police were focusing on another man while Cho was preparing for the second shooting. That shooting was a massacre. Students and teachers methodically gunned down inside classrooms. Tonight we have some new information about how it happened. Room by deadly room. Ahead on 360.